Hello, my name is Josh Real. I would like to welcome you to the real world. A little bit about myself. This is my first time starting a YouTube channel. I'm 43 years old, single from Amarillo, Texas. I would like to sit there and say that I am a transformational personal growth, spiritual, and relationship coach. Uh, at the end of this video, or anytime in this video, please hit like and subscribe. I will be trying to post content at least once a week. A little bit about myself is I am 43 years old from Amarillo, Texas. I have a bachelor's degree of science with a criminal justice emphasis. Back in 2006, I graduated college. From 2006 to 2008, I worked at the Bill Clements Unit as a correction officer. From 2008 to 2011, I worked at Potter County Sheriff's Office. If you are a correction officer and you'd like to work with me, I have been in that field, would know what you deal with on a daily basis, would love to sit there and work with you. A little bit more about myself. I have been through a lot in my life. The reason why I'm starting this YouTube channel is because I want to influence people. I want to help people. It's not for the fame, fortune, or anything like that. I don't care what people think about me. I'm gonna have haters. I really don't care what y'all think. Uh, Relationship wise, I will be posting stuff at least once a week on relationship, personal growth, spiritual, and would love to work with y'all. A little bit more about myself. Back in March of 2001 at 3 o'clock in the morning, I just moved back in with my parents a week before. House burns completely to the ground. My mom comes down and talk about being scared. When your mom bursts in your room, opens the door and say, "Hey, house is on fire, get out." Uh, Very, very emotional, terrifying moment in my life. Uh, Fast forward to 10 days later, March 13th, 2001, my granddad dies of a massive heart attack. Coroner said he was dead before he hit the ground. Uh, Fast forward 10 more days, March 23rd, 2001, my uncle dies. So within 20 days, my life had changed big time. By the time I was 21 years old. By the time I was 26, I had lost every grandparent that I had known. And on a personal note, it sucks because I loved for my kids to have met my grandparents. A little bit about my kids. I have a 17-year-old, a 15-year-old. Those are both my boys, and a 10-year-old daughter. Uh, Talk about I would do anything for my kids. As a comedian once said, the 10-year-old daughter, I would kill for a kid. Uh, she's very beautiful. Both my kids are all beautiful. A little bit about my 17-year-old is that he was my first ex-wife was actually 6 months pregnant with him when we met and started dating. I've been in his life ever since, except for I think a month or two that we had been broken up. When we got a divorce, she asked if I would still take him. I said yes. When he was 2 years old, his dad ended up signing away his rights, and I stepped in. Love the kid like he's mom. Drives me nuts at times, just like all three of my kids do, but I still love him to death. Would do anything for him. Unconditional love. Uh, the time uh, that I have spent with them, which I see them every other weekend, give them a week for Christmas, spend some time with them in the summer. So I am that single dad. I know what y'all are going through. Uh, so if you need somebody to talk to or just advice, I mean, I can give you to the best of my knowledge. I'd love to work with you. A little bit more about myself is I did play basketball in high school. A little bit Played City League basketball for a while. Uh, kind of stopped doing that when I was about 35 years old because I got into a terrible car accident. I was actually driving a truck for errands at the time. Was running a tow truck, ran a red light, hit me on the driver's side. I really don't remember about 6 hours of my life. Kind of messed up my shoulder. Doctors really didn't know. They didn't do an MRI or anything. A little bit more about my past is that back in 2009, my mom died of stage 4 lung cancer. She was diagnosed actually April 20th, died May 9th. Last time I actually got to see her live was actually Mother's Day, a couple of hours. Then she went under life support, died 3 days later. Probably one of the hardest decisions I ever had to make. My dad came up to me and was like, "Hey, there's nothing the doctors can do. What would you do?" And the hardest thing for me to say was, if it was me, I would, since all family's here, I would want you to let me go. And so it's been now 12 years. It's hard. I miss her every day, love her every day. This is the reason why I wanted to start this YouTube channel. Because she influenced my life so much, and I see it every day. And between me and my kids, little bits and pieces. Even my oldest son, who's not actually biologically mine, he sits there and even has a reflection of her. He knew her until he was 2 years old. My youngest son was 15. She died when he was about 1. My daughter never knew her. I wish my daughter would have known her. She was a great influence in my life. And talking about influences in my life, there's about 5 or 6 of them. My dad, number 1, has taught me everything from hard work. There's no shortcuts in life. Still learning to this day, and I'm 43 years old from it. As you can tell, the house from behind that I'm filming in this, we actually built from the ground up after the house burnt down. We had torn it down and then built it up. The only thing that we did not do is the cement work and the brickwork to my fireplace. I've learned just about everything from him. He is now a superintendent, construction company. Been doing it for 36 years. He knows kind of what he's talking about. And I try to learn from him every day. He actually lives right next door to me. We actually built his house too. As you can tell by the paintings behind me, I do paint a little bit. Sorry about like going on different tangents. I kind of do have ADHD or ADD, so I'll try to keep it narrow and simple for you and try not to bounce around on subjects very much. This is my first time starting a YouTube channel, so I will try to not bounce around as much. So if you just be patient with me and everything like that. Other influences I've had are Jay Shetty. If you haven't read his book, Think Like a Monk, or listen to his podcast, great podcast. His is on health and relationships. Him and his wife have great connection on his podcast. Jay Shetty, I mentioned that. Darman, if you haven't checked out his videos, great videos. Check them out. It should be something that you live by every day anyways. I do it just as a reminder. Aaron Daugherty, who does Law of Attraction, if you want to learn more about that, because I am still continuously learning about that. Lewis Howes, great on relationship and just general thing and everything. What else? I think that's it. If I come across anybody else, oh, Trent Shelton out of Dallas, Texas, ex NFL football player who like wants to impact lives just like everybody else. Uh, like I said, I don't care if you listen to me or watch my YouTube videos, but if you listen to all these people, amazing. A little bit more of the background on relationships. I am 43 years old and single. I don't see any podcasts or YouTube videos or anything like that where they're actually single, not dating, or not married. So as I go through this, y'all, we're going to go through this too. I wanted to give relationship advice as somebody being single so we can walk through this together. I have taken the time for self-reflection. Didn't realize that until this past relationship before. She wanted to like take a day away. What I have learned from that is I was being needy back then. I believe that I'm not needy now, as this past relationship has taught me. I have learned things to move forward in relationships. You might have to take a step back to move 2 steps forward. And you do need that self-reflection time to see if this relationship is right for you. I can't give great relationship advice. I just can't take it myself. I will try to have like friends on here, my oldest son on here to tell you a little bit about himself, because he is a little different. Love him to death, won't change it for the world. It's his life, not my life. I'm just trying to get him ready for the real world, as so to speak, and make sure that he survives. By the way, when he's ready to go out on his own, which he is a senior in high school now, he's ready for that. But his personal choices in life, that's his life, not mine. I don't try to influence him. I just try to teach him right from wrong and to have respect for other human beings. I was taught that hard work and self-motivation is key. A little bit more about myself is that I do live in this house by myself. My kids come over the weekend. I love spending time with them. I am a mailman at the United States Postal Service. So if you're a mailman, you want to talk about that too, instead of just ranting and raving on Facebook. I do know what y'all go through on that too. I've been doing it for 7 years. Started off in the plant, worked in the plant. Actually started off at Christmas time in the plant. And went to a mail carrier 4 months later. I've hit all my goals at the post office except retiring. Still have like 22 years left for that. I do. This coming up is Labor Day. Today is the 4th, I believe, of September. My mom's birthday was on the 1st, which was kind of a hard day. It's been 12 years. It doesn't change. I miss her every day. She was actually like my best friend. I could go with her through relationship advice and she would understand. It has taught me how to grow, and me and my dad's relationship has been becoming a lot closer in these last 12 years. We don't just talk about just sports. As probably most guys can relate to their dads. My dad's not a very emotional person. Talks about his feelings. I am, which I believe I got that from my mom. Because if I sit there and start talking about my feelings towards my dad, he kind of like really doesn't talk about them. If I get "I love you," "I miss you," or anything like that, it's very rare. But it's my dad. I've learned to accept it and move on because that's not who I am. And I've taught my kids that I've changed. I believe I've changed in that aspect where it's not like a generation thing. Hopefully, when my kids have kids, they will be more, even more. I just, it's kind of like one of my favorite TV shows is this is about to show my age, is Boy Meets World. I do have a painting of Vincent Van Gogh's The Starry Night, one of my favorite episodes, because you really don't know what you got in a relationship until you're about to lose it. And that's why I say take a step back on the self-reflection days and realize, hey, is this person right for me? What are the things going right? What are the things going wrong? If the if the things that I should say the things that sit there, and even if you have to make a list on that reflection day to sit there and say, hey, this is what is going right in this relationship. These are some of the things I can change. Do that. It will help the relationship. One big green flag for me is since I am a very emotional person, an emotional connection I have to have. I have to have an emotional connection before I can have a physical connection. I want someone who is my best friend, who I can sit there and talk about life with, and who's not going to judge me. Because I'm not going to judge them. Everybody's gone through life differently. As you can tell, probably a lot of you have gone through some of the stuff that I have, but we haven't gone through the same exact stuff in the same exact order. And as you can tell, I'm just now getting over being sick for 2 weeks with an upper respiratory infection. And it's kind of like hard for me to sit there and talk. I hope y'all can hear me. This is my first time starting a YouTube channel. So like and subscribe, and we'll see y'all in the next video.